So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about if I think SorareData is worth paying for if you're using it only for trading. So in every episode, we do give away £10 Sorare Credit. So congratulations to one of the last episode who is Het Gregor 20. Congratulations. If you guys would like to enter today's £10 Sorare Credit giveaway, all you gotta do is leave a like on today's video and comment your Sorare Manager name. If you guys are interested in signing up to Sorare, there is a referral link down below. Once clicking on it and winning 5 cards on the bidding market, you will get yourself a free tradable limited card. Please do be responsible because of course you can lose money as well as make money. So we are back with the Road to Glory episodes, and the reason the Road to Glory episodes haven't come out as of recently is just due to me being a bit ill, and as a result just not really having the energy to record them, edit and so on and so on. But we are back and we are on with a interesting topic in my opinion, which is, for trading purposes only, is SorareData worth it? So one of the main reasons that I'm doing this is because I'm very familiar with SorareData. I've been using it for over a year now, and therefore aesthetically it looks a lot better than Sorare Base, which is what we've been using for the last 2 weeks in the Road to Glory. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go through SorareData's premium and just talk about, actually, is there much benefit on using SorareData other than aesthetically I think it looks a little bit nicer. So what we're going to be looking for is, we are basically going to be looking for things that are in this third column that aren't in this first column, because the first column is free and the third column is paid for. So start say with search presets, and I'll be honest with you, unless you want to use a method where you look at all the new cards listed, which I don't personally use because I don't think it's as effective as the auto buy method, I don't use search presets, and even if I did want to, you get one free search preset. So for the trading methods I've used, that is generally enough. Then move down here to trending players. I don't use trending players for trading whatsoever. Player watch list, I do use player watch lists, and I do normally have many player watch lists running at the same time. But I really could operate with one of them. So at the moment I've got a fair few going, but I could very easily delete half of these. Some of them are talking about like players getting relegated, some of them are relegated with contracts. There's some rare players. There's some players that I use for the weekly players that I think might do well because of a low L5, low L15 to low L5. But I really don't think that would be one of the selling factors for me. I could very well operate on one watch list. And almost just segregate that watch list up if I did want to, have almost multiple watch lists under one. Premium search filters, I can't say I do this. Again, a lot of these, in my opinion, a lot of these benefits really go towards if you actually want to play the game rather than if you want to trade. I don't personally, I haven't found any sort of benefit to this. Injury and suspensions, you can very easily use the likes of transfer market, so I guess unless you want it for convenience. So premium price information, I'm not too sure what they are hinting at here, but I either don't use it or I'm very sure that Sorare Base has it for free. So it's another one of these, unless you really want to go for the more aesthetically pleasing product, it's not necessary to go and buy SorareData Premium for that, because again, it's either on Sorare Base or it's something I don't use and their wording is a bit weird. Again, premium player rankings. If I was going to ever play SO5, I think I'd use this a lot more, because I personally use all round as a how consistent is the player, and then decisives as, how consistent are they getting a bonus. But that wouldn't really affect me wanting to invest really, unless I thought that everyone had that sort of mindset. Premium trading tool, nothing I'm interested in. So one of the first things I think is quite useful is the advanced price chart. Now what I believe they mean by here is if I go and let's say get a player that I've gone and sold on, which is Mario Sampdoria, I can go and see that I've gone and sold him on here, and if I look like 6 months ago, I can see that I would have bought him here. Now, Sorare Base doesn't have this, whereas you can see that I've gone and sold the card here, but obviously it doesn't highlight it in any other colour than this. Now there is a chance that there is a feature that I somehow just haven't worked out how to use it on Sorare Base, but I do think it is very useful to go and see where you bought it, especially if you are ever interested to see, okay, well, have I even made money on the ETH? Because obviously sometimes ETH can appreciate, whereas you're not really making a profit in ETH, but you are in pounds and so on. But this is a feature that I am very fond of, just seeing what I sold them for previously and bought them for. Maybe it's just more to stroke my ego when seeing profits, but yeah, it is a feature I do quite like. But once again, not really a feature that is necessary, like I can live without it. Advanced scoring history, again, not really something I'm overly interested in, unless I believe that everyone was going to have this mindset, and because obviously we're not going off the presumption that every Sorare player has SorareData, it isn't really a presumption I go off of. Past starting lineups, again, if you really want, you can literally just Google that. Competition detail, don't really use any of this. We then get to gaming, and again, a lot of these are all covered for free. Lineup builder, no interest making. Draft, no interest making. Lineup suggestions, no interest making. Again, a lot of these are if you're actually going to play the game rather than trading, so it doesn't really do too much for me. Players next 15 opponent scores and averages. This is quite interesting. Although I'll be honest with you, I think the average player would probably go off of table place rather than this. Again, because everyone can access where a certain team is in, Premier League, for example, if they're bottom three, I think that would have a lot more of an effect on the price rather than maybe if they're mid-table but they have really bad away scores. I don't think as many people would look into that stat than they would the position in the table. Again, gameplay, manager watch lists, gameplay. So none of those really, in my opinion, are too interesting. We then move down here to Premium Manager information. Again, these are cards that are in your club. There are actually, I think, Twitter accounts that tweet out a lot about the injuries, but again, not really something I'm too interested in. As if you do see a significant drop, you can obviously just transfer market because the data they do derive or get their data for SorareData is from transfer market. So, or I think Sports Gambler. So it isn't, again, something that's necessary to have. Premium Manager charts, again, this is something you can get on Sorare Base. All you'd have to do is go to your settings and then switch it to Fiat rather than ETH. And again, this is just very, very similar to SorareData. So unless aesthetically you don't like Sorare Base, there is really no benefit on paying £5 a month over the free version. And then we get to the trading section, but again, I'll be honest with you, I don't really use a lot of these aspects, even though they're down under trading. Price filter, current prices only. Again, I can't believe this is something I do use. Auction bidding list, not something I use. Price alerts, not something I use. I'm sure I could use them, but again, I'm sure 5 players would probably suit my desired needs. Premium card info, again, not something that I'm interested. Most expensive, auctions, fiat price, again, just not something that does anything for me. And premium trade builder, I do use the trade builder, but honestly, you don't really need to use it. You could literally just use Sorare Base to find the averages and the floors, and then just load up a Google Docs or a Google spreadsheet, and then just, do the math yourself. A lot of these features are stuff that you can get for free. And again, we just move down here, I guess, quickly. Fiat, again, you can get that on Sorare Base for free. Scarcity preference, again, I only really ever look at limited, and it's not that much of a deal moving from limited to rare, even if you do want to change it. So I'll be completely honest with you, as someone who doesn't play the game and just trades, I do think that there is very little benefits other than the aesthetics. Now, and I'll be honest with you, if you haven't really traded on SorareData for the last year and a half like I have, you potentially won't even notice the difference. You might not even find that much of a difference to the point where you can vouch for £5. Because I'll be honest with you, feature-wise, unless you're maybe loading up, I don't know, a few £100, or maybe you are playing SO5, because obviously someone who plays SO5, which is like the gameplay aspect, would potentially have a different outlook on the value for money of SorareData than me. You're really not getting enough benefits, in my opinion, from using from using the premium version of SorareData over the free version of Sorare Base. Again, it's more just aesthetics, and the reason I'm going to be taking away £5 from my current, I guess, kitty I have to trade with is because I just really aesthetically like it. Again, it's more of a force of habit. It's almost like if you were to watch the Prem, and then you have to then go and watch the Prem with American commentators, and it's, you can watch it, but it's just prefer to maybe pay the extra bit just for the comfort of what you had previously. It's potentially a little bit like that. With all that being said, I have gone and sold on an insane amount of cards recently. It's mainly because I had loads of Asia and USA cards, not to do with the Road to Glory, but previously on the account, and therefore showing you every single sale and then having to go through all that has been very long. I've kept up with all the data though. I've kept appreciating and depreciating the profit when needed. I've written down every single sale of the cards, so you'll have to trust me in terms of me tracking the data, which means we're on £42.63p. We'll take away the £5 on there, giving us £37. So what I'll do now is we'll just get underway with our auto buy method, but now we do have the luxury of being able to use SorareData, which again, for me, I just find I operate a little bit faster on, plus it's a little bit more aesthetically pleasing because again, we can just instantly see what's a bid, what's a buy now. Again, there isn't really too much of a difference, but I do just find myself operating a little bit faster on the likes of SorareData. That can just be the difference between you making another 4 or 5 quid if you're able to research players' prices quickly, then go and send over a trade offer a little bit faster than you can with the likes of Sorare Base. We have managed to go and get ourselves loads of deals. Now, they're actually off loads of individual people, so I could have done separate recordings for it, but because I'm kind of so ill at the moment, I don't have the energy really whatsoever. I barely have the energy to trade, let alone to record, but nonetheless, let's go and walk you guys through what we got. So we managed to pick ourselves up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 deals. I believe they're amongst 3 different people. We got ourselves a really, really nice deal here on the goalkeeper. So the deal that I got on the goalkeeper was quite interesting because the person who had him listed basically had a minimum asking price, but that minimum asking price was way above what he was actually selling for. So I was quite confident that Maisie didn't actually mean to put that minimum price on. So all I did was I did one of the cards that I got earlier in the Road to Glory that I just haven't been able to sell. And what that allows you to do is breach the minimum asking price. Now obviously, if you can tell that people meant to set the minimum asking price, doing this is just going to piss people off. So, you know, be aware of that. But because I could tell that this guy had him, I think he had him listed for like 50 quid, whereas his minimum was like 60. So obviously, you know, it doesn't really make any sense. So I did that to breach that, and we actually managed to go and pick him up there for 27 quid. And if I can go and show you how good of a pickup that was. So we managed to pick him up for 27 quid, and his recent sales have been 34 and 35. Which means on this player alone, we managed to get a nice little £8 deal. But obviously I do need to kind of sell him ASAP, because £35, in terms of how much I kind of have liquid, is a fair bit. But let's go walk you guys through all the deals we managed to get. Is a lot of the classic. 13p going to go up for 55p. 13p going to go up for 55p, 13p going to go up for 55p, £1.47 going to go up for £3.30. Prem player here, 54p going up there for £1.20. Another player here, 54p going up for £1, 13p going up for 55p, 54p going up for £1.10 or £1.20, 54p going up for £1.50, 13 going up for 55p, and I think we got maybe one more player to go through. Yeah, then we got 54p going up for £1.20, which is going to turn over on all those players, I believe, if you can see, a nice little £13.87 profit just on those players alone. It doesn't give us much to work with because we had £36.53 liquid, which means at the moment we're generally sitting on £4, like it's day 1 or day 2 again. But yeah, loads of good deals, £8 on the goalkeeper alone. But yeah, happy days, brings up to 120. So we are going to be calling at the end of today's episode. As I say, at the moment I'm very ill. I'm even iller than when I had the old vid. So episodes, as I say, haven't been out as recently. Also, I wouldn't expect to see one tomorrow, just because, again, I really don't have the energy in me to be sitting here trading all day, recording, editing, and so on and so on. But as I say, hopefully sooner rather than later, the videos will be back to being daily again and back to be able to cover everything. But thank you very much nonetheless for the support on the channel. It is greatly appreciated. And we'll see you guys in the next few days with the next episode.